Good afternoon / good evening, everyone. So happy for it to be Friday. You know, most people's favorite part about Friday is because it's the weekend. But, I think my favorite part about Friday is getting to do this. This has become my favorite thing to do. I get to talk a lot, and I've gotten to the point where I thoroughly enjoy talking. The people in this house understand because they are stuck dealing with me, whereas the other people out of here may not notice that. But it's a good Friday, as you can tell. Two things. So there's a big change. I got some headphones in, some Bluetooth headphones, so everything's wireless, and I think that might help with the sound quality, but also it'll help me focus more because I don't hear anything else. All I hear is myself talking, and that's a wonderful thing. Glory to God. But also, I did shave. I look like a younger man. And, I guess you could say I'm multifaceted because even with a beard or clean shaved or with a hairstyle I rock, I'm still a very handsome man. That's not being arrogant. That's just something God has blessed me with. Oh, glory to God. But, Wednesday, I wrote down a sermon that I thought was what he wanted me to speak, God wanted me to speak on. And I went through and recorded it yesterday because I decided, I'm going to be ahead of plan. I guess I ain't learned my lesson from recording early. Because after I recorded, I was feeling uneasy about it. I was like, I guess I'll record Friday. I'll re-record it Friday. And then also, I was just like, I don't think that's right. And then last night, I just felt led to write this out, and I think it'll be a lot better than the one from yesterday. The title of today's message is, "The world may reject you, but God will never leave you." Rejection is a part of everyday life. Back in me personally, I enjoy technology. Because, I haven't said this before, but I used to chase women. I used the phone to do it because I didn't have to deal with the rejection. That's the one thing I did not like. I did not like rejection. It's just like, ooh, you know what? Because I was a very shy person. I didn't want to deal with rejection. But I had this phone. But going back to that, I used to chase women, I never caught them. They always kept running. But, and behind the screen, you could be a tough guy behind the screen. I've picked many arguments on social media behind the screen. And, some of them have threatened that they'll kill me. They're behind the screen as well. And, but anyone can be tough behind the screen. Anyone can spit game, as I say, behind the screen. And, the few times I actually did land a date, trying to spit game online, it went nothing like I had planned. I completely struck out because, you can't tell someone's goofy over the phone like that. I don't really know how they didn't know because I most certainly know when I text people, I text them and I'm goofy as all get out. See, don't let this handsomeness fool you. See, I don't have the charm and charisma. I got the handsome side, but the charm and charisma, that's gone. Oh, but just rejection. That was just one thing. It sucks. Rejection sucks. It's a horrible thing because it's just you get your hopes up and then just get knocked down. And the world rejects you. As Christians, the world rejects you. I'm going to get into my first point. The world rejects, slanders, hates, and mocks us. I've noticed when I witness some people, they'll be reverent to it. They may talk behind your back. I've got several people smirking. They're like, "Look, get a load of this guy." But, they haven't had that Damascus Road. As a Christian, we've all had our sort of Damascus Road thing like Paul had. It may not have been as intense, but as you got that come to Jesus moment. And, but people, when they haven't had that moment, it'll mock them, In my Damascus Road moment, I felt the Lord hitting me. Well, not hitting me, but hitting my heart and stuff. And I was sitting there quiet. I prayed to myself. I was like, "Lord, let someone talk to me." let someone talk to me if this is what you want me to do. But I was like, nah, I'll do it anyway. Because I just was under heavy conviction. I just couldn't say no. And I told Mom, I don't know how I got outside. I said, can we talk outside? And I was pure bawling like a baby. You know, that's what repentance will do. I told her everything. Pure bawling like a baby. And, you know, as a man, we're tough. Men are tough. I'm not supposed to be crying. I'll be honest with you, because that's what I try and be a very honest person. I was bawling like a baby. And, you know, she didn't think no different. Well, she did think different of me, but it was in a good way. She basically knew all this stuff, you know. Parents, as I say this, if you stay and pray for your kids, the Lord will reveal things about them. And, you know, sometimes you got to take action, jump on it. But sometimes you just got to show them love. Because, you know, whenever you go and attack them, well, not really attack them, you're just supposed to confront them and stuff. It can push them away, and, you know. But sometimes it's just love. That's all they need, you know. And not lucky, there's such thing as luck. I'm very blessed to have as good parents I did, that even in my heathen state, they still love me. And they didn't reject me. That's the same thing God did. He didn't reject me. The first verse is John chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. You know. And they don't even have a reason to hate you. You know, they hate you because they don't understand it. They're like, how can someone be this fanatical, this gung-ho over something that they haven't seen? But, you know, that also ties into faith. It's faith is believing the things you cannot see. You know, I haven't seen God, but I know He's there. I've had that come to Jesus moment. I've seen Him work in my life. I am proof there is a God. And I'm not trying to sound arrogant or prideful, but there was days that I did not want to shadow the door of a church. I was ready to get away from it. And, you know, and look at me now, preacher man now, you know, that is proof there is a God. Me sitting and recording myself, you know, I noticed my voice. I got a very southern accent, and I ain't got the sexy southern accent like the country singers got. I got the white trash hillbilly one, but, you know, and I used to be ashamed of it. But, you know, that's me. That's who God made me. And, you know, He likes to hear me talk. So y'all can hear me talk too, and it don't bother me one bit. I got a feeling this is going to be a long one today, so hold tight with me. But they don't have a reason to hate you. They don't understand it, you know? And that's why when you witness, you plant the seed, and God will do the work. As a man, I can't get somebody saved, but I can plant the thought in their head, and that's when Jesus can work. Because Jesus can't force Himself in. You got to let Him in. That's why we got free will. But they hate us. They just got so much hate towards us. They even hated Jesus. As it said in this verse. I lost my spot. 1 second. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me first. Hated me before it hated you. They even hated Jesus. Man came to earth spitting facts. If you truly think of it, as my young folks will say, he was spitting facts. You know, also as a young one, you say when someone is, and one of the little things we say is, he a real one. You know, Jesus was a real one. You know, it's something. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. You know, he was a real one. He endured all the hate for you. They rejected him, but he didn't reject the world. And I got another verse to go along with that. Isaiah 53, chapter 53, verses 3. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. You know, it'd be hard for me to still love someone that despises me, rejects me. You know, you got to think of it in a personal relationship. You got friends that don't want to hang out with you, or you got people, or as I say, chasing a woman. She don't want to hang out with you, don't want nothing to do with you. But you know, to love someone that much that you still will want to do all these things for them, even though they reject you. You know, it really just shows how awesome and wonderful our God is. This is gonna be a good one, to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to it since I wrote it. You know, because I mean, I've dealt with rejection in life. You know, being a shy person is hard to. Well, was shy. Now I can be very boisterous at times, but being a shy person, it's just to build up the courage. You know, when you're shy and you want to talk to someone, you build up so much courage. And you know, I've always had the mindset that everything's gonna work out, and then for it to just get rejected, it's just like, ooh, you know, it hurts. You know, it can really hurt your ego. And that's just it's hard. I'll be honest with you, it is hard. You know, I'm very open on here because it's pretty life-changing stuff that happened to me. You know, I think that's one of the reasons I enjoyed to drink so much. Because you get a couple back, you can talk to anybody, and you don't care. And you know, but you know, when you got Jesus in your life, you can talk to anyone and don't care. Except with Jesus, you don't deal with the headache the next morning. You don't waste all that money. You don't say stupid stuff because you're saying the real word. You're speaking the words of God. You become Christ-minded, and it's just a wonderful thing, you know. Because I know I'll go to tell people, they reject it. You know, I've had a door slammed on me. You know, I've had someone try and go through and explain why they don't think it's true, and me as a baby Christian trying to explain it, I do the best I can, but I know I'm planting the seed for God to work in our lives. The world doesn't see the amazing things God has in store for you. You know, God has some pretty amazing things. You know, going back to me being shy and stuff, never, ever would have thought in my wildest mind that I'd be doing something like this, to be making videos of myself preaching, to stand up in front of a crowd and preach, you know. Because I can tell you, just not even too long ago at my work's Christmas party, they had to stand up and speak. My leg was shaking. All I had to do was get up and say my name and what I do. That was before my first video, you know. The Lord, I pray every night and every morning that the Lord fills me with boldness, and you know, sometimes He just pumps it on in there. And I just get all buck wild and stuff. That radical Christianity, the good kind of radicalism. But you know, the world don't want to see the amazing things God has in store for you. Turn to Psalm chapter, well, I'll turn to it. Psalm 1, chapter 118, verse 22. The stone which the builders refuse is become the headstone of the corner. You know, we are the stone. You know, and the world is the builders. They may kick you around, think you ain't worth a crap, you know. I know we've all had moments where we feel like, man, I ain't worth a crap. And, you know, when you got God behind you, it's just, He lifts you up. He gives you confidence, man, you know. You know, and I know in my past there's been times I was like, man, I'm worthless. I got nothing going for me. I ain't got no girl. I'm distant from my family. I don't hang out with my friends that much. You know, I don't have that many friends. And you're like, man, what do I got going for me? I get up and go to work to pay bills. I mean, but when God comes in your life, you get them new friendships. You get them wonderful relationships. My relationship now with my family is better than it's ever been. it won't nothing for me to pick an argument with him before. You can ask him. You can ask my brother. We'd be driving to church, just something slight, pick an argument. We were, if you don't like the language, sorry. We were pissed off with each other, just straight up mad. And, when God came into my life, and God came into my brother's life, it just brought joy, now we're sitting down. We talk about God, and, it's just wonderful. I mean, me and my brother are now closer than we've ever been. And that's a wonderful thing. And that's God, We can sit in the same room without arguing. We don't get along, so that's brother things. But, we quit to forget to ask for forgiveness, That's God. I mean, like I told you, on the way to church to get mad with each other. And it was mostly my fault, I, in the past, have had an always want to be right attitude. And, just today, the always want to be right attitude came up. I guess I call it a fit of carnality. I heard another preacher call it that. And, I was sitting back and I was rearing my tail, and I was sitting to myself, dag on, the old man came up. That's not good. That's not good at all. I repented to God first and apologized, and I went to him and I said, you know what? I shouldn't have showed my tail. And that's just that's humble things, and without God, I wouldn't have realized that. But the world doesn't see the amazing things God has in store for you. God has a plan for you. Even in tough moments, God doesn't forget us. Let's switch back to Psalm 94, verse 14. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. In life we're going to go through tough situations. Because the devil, he's constantly trying to ruin your walk. Because the devil hates you. Guess what, devil? I hate you too. So I guess we're on even playing fields. But there's going to be tough times. But just always know, God sees the beginning and the end of the situation. Whereas where we are in the tough spot, God sees us victorious. Because he is with us. He's on our side. He will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. The Lord will not forsake you, even in your toughest days. God is with you. And through him, you will have victory, and you will learn something from that. And and that little thing, that little short season where it was rough, can be used to guide someone else who going through that same thing, and it can make their short little season easier, and then that could be passed on to another, and making their season even easier. And it's just a domino effect. In the Christian walk, we all need to link together and help one another. It's like kind of like a chain, just keep linking and linking and linking, make it tougher and tougher and tougher. Eventually the devil's gonna be like, man, I don't want to do this no more. It's too hard. And he'll back off some. That's just a wonderful thing. God is always with you, even if it seems like you are alone. Turn to 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. When you get saved, you got God inside of you. He's your sidekick. Well, technically you should be his sidekick, but he's such a wonderful God. He wants to help you and boost you for all, and the glory will go back to him. Because like I've said multiple times, I do this. Don't be proud of me for doing this. Give the glory to God, because it's only God who can do this type of change in someone's life. This wonderful change. He's always with you, even if it seems like you're alone. You know, when I first got saved, it was just like, I knew the crowd I was hanging out with, I had to step back and grow stronger in my walk, get stronger in my walk with the Lord, or else there'd be a chance I'd fall straight back into it. And and there was a time, and I've even told my parents and stuff, it's like, I ain't got no friends, but I had God. And, and he continued to just think about his name. I talked to him and get in my Bible, read, listen to sermons and stuff. And, it's a wonderful thing. Because even when you seems like you're alone, he's there with you. Like I said in the moment before, even in the toughest part of the battle, he is with you. Through God, you will have peace during the storms. You go back into I don't know, I should have wrote the verses down. But the story of they were on the boat, and Jesus was in the bottom of the boat sleeping, and there was a massive storm. And the disciples, they should have had peace too, but they didn't. And they called Jesus, and Jesus was sleeping, and he calmed the storm. And that's how it should be in our lives. We're on top of the boat, Jesus in the bottom asleep, peacefully asleep, even through this roughest parts of life. He's the peace through the storms. So that's why you should never give up in the toughest battles, because you got God with you. He ain't scared, neither should you. You shouldn't have no fear. Fear tolerated is faith contaminated. Fear is the opposite of faith. Because fear is going by just what you see in the natural. Faith is going by what you don't see. And when you're with God, it just increases your faith. Because the faith the size of a mustard seed can move a mountain. It didn't say it could climb a mountain. It can move a mountain. And and that also goes back into it. A mustard seed's tiny. So, if you just got a little bit of faith, it can move anything. And it didn't say the size of the mountain. A mountain could be a little sand mountain. Could be Mount Everest, So in that verse, it just shows that through faith, we can do all things. In faith in God, all things are possible. Your faith and trust in God will give you peace. Turn back to Isaiah chapter 56. No, chapter 26, verses 3 and 4. Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength. We stay God-minded, stay in the Word, stay praying, studying, just be diligent. And you will have peace through everything, Everything just ties, all these points, they just tie in together, God is that perfect peace in your life. I've said this before, that I never knew what it was my purpose to do. What am I going to do for the life? At my job now, could have worked till I was 49, retired, but I would have had no fulfillment from it. But with God, I have a peace in my life. I know what my calling is. I know what I'm to do. And and in this field, I'll probably work a lot longer, work well past 50, but that's okay. Because he's giving me a peace about it, and it's just a wonderful thing. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Even if it seems like you have nobody, you have a friend in Jesus. I was almost about to hit this point earlier when I was in one of the earlier points. But you always have a friend in Jesus, no matter what. Always, always, always got a friend in Jesus. He will never leave you or forsake you. Through the good, through the bad, through the ugly. We ain't talking no Clint Eastwood either. But I've never seen that movie, so if it's not Clint Eastwood, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for it. I wanted to make a little joke, and if it's wrong, let me know about it. But he is the friend that we all need. You know, he has your back. He wants the best for you. Because I know in some friendships, just kind of like you can kind of compete with each other because you're like, yeah, I want to be the top. I want to be the top. But no, he wants the best for you. I'm going to turn to John chapter 15, verses 12 through 15. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not which his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known to you. You know, as Christians, we're to the children of God. We aren't servants of God. The angels are the servants of God. We are the children of God, but we should have such a love for them that we are willing to serve. I'm still trying. I'm looking for things to serve in the church and stuff, and I'm excited for it. I may not look smart, but I got plenty of stuff up here. All glory to God, because he's renewed my mind. And from past actions, my mind was halted, and it was just like kind of slowed down, and really my memory was bad. And when I got saved, I prayed. I was like, Lord, can you heal my mind? My memory's wonderful now. I can retain so much stuff. I remembering things from my past and stuff. And it's just such a wonderful thing, and I can always say this. I always wish that I would have got saved sooner. But through all the things I've gone through, I could be someone could hear me and think, wow, maybe I should stay away from that. Maybe that stuff's not good, and maybe just want to stay away from it. I'm not bagging on myself and not trying to say I'm top 10 sinners of all time that's got saved, but I know I'm young. I mean, I'm 23. I know what I know through each generation it gets worse. Well, not anymore. Things are going to get up, speak positivity, speak positive, manifest positive. But, I know what they go through. I went to a Christian school, and I'm not bashing them at all, but there's some of the students there, it won't cool to love God. You're considered a goody two-shoe. And, and just, I wish at that time that I didn't care. Because now, I'll say something to a Christian, I'll say this. I have people, just random Snapchat accounts, add me and stuff. And some of them are spam, Ain't nothing. Hey, Jesus? Jesus? I'll go talk to people about Jesus. I take my hat off at work and pray every day before I eat. I pray out in public, What they can do, make fun of me? I could care less if they make fun of me. Because I got someone in me that's better. I'm not of the world. I may be in the world, but I'm not of the world. And, I could honestly just sit and talk for hours. I'll let that wait till I get behind the pulpit. So just know, if you ever are at a church and you hear that I'm preaching, make sure you eat breakfast that morning. Because there ain't no telling. It could be 15 minutes. It could be an hour. It's ever how long the Lord leads me. But, through I guess I get off on tangents and stuff. That's why I have notes. If I try and preach all this stuff from memory, we'll be here for 45 minutes to an hour on the first point, because I've chased so many rabbits. But, I honestly, when I think on it, I would have loved to have got saved sooner. But I didn't. And, and what I sowed, I reaped. But, God's forgiven me for all those things. And now my testimony could be a light to the people. Because, I've already basically went over this point and stuff. But, I know what the youth has gone through. I know what it's like to be young. I know what it's like to be in school and stuff. But if I'm being 100% honest with you, it doesn't matter what the world thinks, because the world will reject you. But God is always with you. Just always remember that. And I thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all have a blessed rest of the weekend. Thank you.